Long, long ago, in the green folds of the Ramgarh hills, there lay a village surrounded by a forest so thick that sunlight entered it in soft golden ribbons. The villagers of Ramgarh lived simple lives. They tilled their fields, grazed their cows, and gathered wild fruits and honey from the woods. But there was one thing that cast a shadow over their peace: the stories of a monster. Every evening, as the crimson sun dipped behind the mountains and the sky turned violet, the people would gather near the village well, talking in hushed voices. "Did you hear that roar last night?" an old man would whisper. "It came from the forest," said another. "They say it's half lion, half peacock, and half cow." Now, of course, that made three halves, but no one in Ramgarh ever questioned it. Fear had a way of making even the strangest things seem true. The creature, they said, had the head of a lion, the tail of a peacock, and the feet of a cow. It lived deep inside the jungle, near the silver stream that wound like a snake through the trees. And though no one had ever really seen it, everyone was certain it was there. So whenever a goat went missing or a strange rustling came from the forest, the villagers would shake their heads and mutter, "Ah, the monster of Ramgarh has struck again." But among all the villagers, there was one who was not afraid: a young boy named Bhola. Bhola was about 10 years old, quick as a squirrel, curious as a monkey, and brave as a tiger. At least that's what he liked to think. He loved climbing trees, chasing butterflies, and sitting by the stream to watch dragonflies dance. Whenever the grown-ups spoke about the monster, Bhola would grin and say, "If there really is a monster, maybe it's just lonely." The elders would shake their heads. "Don't talk nonsense, Bhola. Monsters don't feel lonely. They eat people." But Bhola's heart was full of wonder, not fear. So one bright morning, while the mist still hung over the fields, he made up his mind. He packed a small bag with some rice cakes, a piece of jaggery, and a little bamboo flute, and off he went into the forest. The forest of Ramgarh was alive with sound. Parrots squeaked, crickets chirped, and the wind hummed softly through the trees. Bhola walked along a narrow path lined with ferns, his eyes wide with excitement. He passed a family of deer grazing near the riverbank. A monkey threw down a mango at him, almost as if to say hello. But as he went deeper, the forest grew quieter. The air felt cooler and the light dimmed. Bhola stopped. Somewhere ahead, he heard a deep humming sound. Not frightening, but strange, like someone humming an old tune. He crept closer, pushing aside the tall grass, and then he saw it. There, beside the stream, stood the creature the villagers feared so much. It was exactly as they had described, yet somehow not frightening at all. It had the head of a lion, golden and majestic, with gentle amber eyes that gleamed like the setting sun. Its tail was a fan of peacock feathers, shimmering in blue and green, and its feet were soft and white, like a cow's, leaving rounded prints in the mud. The creature was dipping its tail into the water, splashing and humming softly, a tune so sweet it made the leaves tremble. Bhola's mouth dropped open. He did not feel afraid. He felt amazed. Suddenly, the creature turns its head and saw him. "Oh," it said in a deep but kind voice, "I did not expect company." Bhola's heart thumped, but he managed to squeak, You can talk?" The creature smiled. "Of course I can talk. Most people run away before I get the chance." Bhola slowly stepped forward. "Everyone in the village says you are a monster." The creature sighed, sending ripples across the stream. "Oh, yes, that's what they always say about what they don't understand." It sat down, its tail's feather folding gracefully behind it. "Long ago, I was just another creature in the forest. The birds called me friend. The deer shared their fruits with me. But one day, a traveler saw me and screamed, 'Monster, monster,' before running away. Since then, people stopped coming to the forest." Bhola frowned. "But you are not scary." The creature smiled gently. "Thank you, little one. I never meant to frighten anyone. I only wanted someone to talk to. The forest is so beautiful, but even beauty can be lonely when there is no one to share it with." Bhola's eyes filled with warmth. He took out his bamboo flute. "I could play a song for you," he said. He sat on a rock and began to play. The notes danced through the forest, light, bright, and full of joy. Birds joined in, chirping along, and even the leaves seemed to rustle in rhythm. The creature listened, eyes half closed, tail feathers swaying gently. When Bhola finished, it clapped its soft paws together. "That was beautiful," said the creature. "You have brought music back to Ramgarh's heart." Bhola grinned. "Then why don't you come to the village? If they see you are kind, they won't be scared anymore." The creature hesitated. "I don't know. People often fear what's different." Bhola said confidently, "Leave it to me. I will tell them you are my friend." The next morning, Bhola ran into the village shouting, "I found the monster of Ramgarh." People screamed and hid inside their houses. "No, no," he said, waving his arms. "He's not a monster. He's kind and gentle, and he loves music." The villagers did not believe him. So Bhola took out his flute and played the same melody he had played by the stream. From the forest came the answering hum, deep, sweet, and full of warmth. Slowly, out of the trees, the creature appeared. The villagers gasped. The children hid behind their mothers. But Bhola walked right up to it and said, "Everyone, meet my friend." The creature bowed low. "I'm sorry if I frightened you," it said softly. "I never wished harm. I only wished for company." There was silence, and then an old woman stepped forward. "If you mean no harm," she said, "then you are welcome in Ramgarh." The crowd slowly relaxed. The children giggled. One of them even ran up to touch the creature's tail feathers, which shimmered like jewels. Soon laughter filled the air, and the village that once whispered in fear now sang with joy. From that day onward, the monster of Ramgarh was no longer a monster. He became the guardian of the forest, a friend to all who respected the jungle's peace. Bhola often visited him, playing his flute while the creature sang along. The villagers brought fruits and flowers to the forest edge as gifts of friendship. And whenever new travelers came and whispered, "There's a monster in the woods," the villagers would smile and say, "Not a monster, a miracle." So the lesson that we learn from this story is, do not fear what you don't understand. kindness and understanding can turn fear into friendship.